Hi everybody, thank you for attending the Court of Bookworm 2 today. I had the best sleep yesterday. Usually I do not sleep during the day because I have difficulty sleeping at night anyway. If I sleep during the day, I'm up all night. But yesterday, Yellow Dog was fast asleep on my bed and it looked so cozy as it was raining outside. I shifted in next to her and the two of us slept for nearly 3 hours until 1:30. I felt like a different person when I woke up. Anyway, different person or not, we are back on the same topic today, namely the royal family. I see that there's quite a debate about what the Queen and Charles knew and for how long. I personally think it is a frivolous and unnecessary debate because the answer is readily available to anybody and everybody if they only bother to look. Some of you may have seen this in my comment section and some may not, but it is a Guardian article dated March the 9th, 2011. So let's read it, at least the first paragraph. The threat of embarrassment such as Andrew's appearance in autumn 2000 at a New York hookers and pimps Halloween party accompanied by Ghislaine Maxwell, daughter of the disgraced and deceased Robert Maxwell, at which he may have made the acquaintance of the teenage masseuse employed by his friend Jeffrey Epstein, was indeed swept aside. Further down, the person being interviewed said that Andrew was unwise to fraternize with Epstein. Now, the photograph of Andrew and Virginia was taken on March the 10th, 2001 in London and developed on March 13th, 2001. So clearly he either met Virginia the year before in New York as well, and they were obviously then not strangers, or we are talking about a different teenage girl. So that again leads us to the fact that if it was in the newspapers, it is more than likely that Charles and or the Queen knew what was going on. Then people tend to forget that both Epstein and Ghislaine were photographed at Balmoral in 1999. Andrew also travelled on Epstein's Lolita Express a few times. There's no way this would not have been noted and shared in the palace. And then I'm going to repeat what I said before, and this time I'm going to read it to you from official sources. The monarch receives security reports and intelligence briefings on a daily basis. These intelligence briefings are part of the daily red box of state papers, which includes cabinet papers and intelligence report from security agencies. Intelligence briefings include reports on security threats. And they do go on to explain about personal threats towards the royal family, etc., but I'm skipping that. It is delivered to the monarch regardless of where they are in the world. Now, seeing that it's known that Kevin Spacey, Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, etc., Weinstein visited Andrew at Buckingham Palace, I asked what the protocol would be for a guest. Now, here's the answer. A private visit with a royal at Buckingham Palace involves a strict invitation-only process coordinated by the private secretary's office. requiring advanced security, clearance, and formal timed arrival protocols. Guests are escorted through tight security before meeting in private apartments or less public rooms. For private, non-official, social visits, the process may be a little more relaxed, but will still require going through secure private entry points. So there's no way the Queen and King Charles could not have known. She knew, and or Charles knew. They knew since the late 90s. I also find it amazing how people tend to have selective hearing, how they only hear what they want to hear. Andrew was warned against Epstein in the year 2000 and maybe a couple of times since. But did he care or did he listen? No. Charles was warned numerous times against Savile. Did he care or did he listen? No. Talk about financial impropriety, and then we can talk about Charles arriving at his office with Fortnum and Mason shopping bags and a suitcase full of cash. When it became known, Clarence House issued a statement saying that the money went straight to the Prince of Wales Charitable Fund and that all correct processes were being followed. And then everybody went, okay, if you say so, and that's where it ended. However, €3 million in shopping bags indicates money laundering, not charity. And who was the generous donor? Well, Sheikh Hamad bin Yassim bin Jaber Al Thani, former Prime Minister of Qatar. And the money was not handed over in one, say, surprising gesture. You know, catching Prince Charles unaware or, on the left foot or, whatever. No. It was given to Charles over a period of time between 2011 and 2015. Like I said, had it happened once, we may have said it came as a surprise. But 3 or 4 times? No, that is no longer a surprise. That is something else. Remember Bruno Wang, son of Andrew Wang, who was involved in major Taiwanese bribery. Charles took his money too. Dr. Bin Mahfouz, yes, his money in exchange for a title and citizenship. And yes, Charles was warned about each one of them. For a change, Harry did not lie when he said that he warned his father against Bin Mahfouz. But, the list goes on and on and on. But no one is talking about that. No one investigated further, regardless of the fact that Charles was only the Prince of Wales then. So I'm all for Andrew being investigated, but Charles and everything he has done should also be investigated. But he won't be, will he? No. Because it seems that Andrew is now the scapegoat for all the other men in the Epstein files and also the scapegoat for his brother's sins. Okay, my dear friends, that's it for now. I've got other things to do, and like I said yesterday, I'm not going to make formal videos every day anymore. I will do videos every day, but I will only do 1 or 2 scripted deep dives, longer videos, say once a week, okay? Otherwise, I will jump on and talk about something as it pops into my mind. Okay. All right, so until I see you again, please Take good care of yourselves. Bye.